And how do you know if you have enough money saved up for retirement? A new study shows you'll probably need more than you think, especially here in Arizona. What you need to know, just minutes away.
Just what I didn't want to hear, Tess.
We're talking about retirement savings. You've probably thought about this. How much do you really need? Well, you may not like to hear this. A recent report from Go Banking Rates show Arizona ranks as one of the top 10 most expensive states to retire. In fact, we live in one of the top 15 states where it's recommended that you will need more than $1 million in savings to retire at 65. And scary to hear this, that's just the minimum. So we have Lane Martinsen, who is the founder of Martinsen Wealth Management, joining us this morning to talk a little bit about, how did we get here? What do we need to know to even get to that amount? Thanks for being here this morning, Lane.
Thank you. It's great to be here. Appreciate it.
He's holding a book. We're going to talk about how you can get some tips coming up in just a moment. But let's talk about this. The annual cost of living right now in Arizona, nearly $70,000.
Right.
And that's a big factor when looking down the road.
Right. Yeah. And it's, more and more people are starting to ask themselves, should we relocate? Because there are other states that are less expensive. You've got Hawaii, who's the most expensive. It's almost double everyone else. And then you've got the Midwest, you've got Kansas, Georgia. Those types of states are a lot more affordable.
Sure.
For some people, that's going to make sense, and other people, there's so many considerations, there's so many pros and cons to take in.
What do we have to consider when we talk about retirement savings? A lot of people probably won't have the home even paid off by then, right?
Right. I mean, it's obviously very individualized because everyone's situation is different. But when you're saving for retirement, you're accumulating, hopefully you're saving up enough, right, to get to that point where you're at retirement. But then when you start to look into these retirement years, 20, 25, 30 years, there's kind of a whole different mindset and strategies to answer the question, are we going to, is our money going to last? And so there's so many things that come into play, right? Taxes and Social Security strategies, and there's a lot of pieces to that puzzle.
And when we look at the minimum cost of retirement of what we'll probably need, again, this is according to Go Banking Rates. Just looking at this list is pretty scary. That's just the minimum, right? To live like a full, enjoyable life of retirement, you'll probably need a lot more than this. What do you suggest people do? Is a 401k contributing to that enough?
Well, a 401k is a great thing because most 401k plans have a company match, so you always want to take advantage of that. But as far as preparing for retirement, it's hard to save too much, right? And so, but not only will you want to make sure you're saving and contributing, but you also want to make sure that you're doing it in a tax-efficient way. Because taxes can make a huge difference, because if everything is tax deferred, then you get to retirement, and when are you going to pay the taxes on these tax deferred accounts? You pay them in retirement. So taxes and tax planning can actually make a big difference on how long your money's going to last.
Okay, very good. And that's why you've written a book to help folks who are thinking about retirement. It comes out later this month.
It does, yeah. It's called the 5W Retirement Blueprint.
Okay.
And so the concept is that it's the holistic approach, a comprehensive look.
Okay.
It's not common. Most people are looking at one thing, like investments, and then maybe they're looking at Social Security, and then they're maybe looking at their housing and healthcare. And you really want, there's efficiencies when you do it in a comprehensive way.
It's a broader picture. It's not just one focus. So thank you so much for joining us this morning and giving us some insight into that.
Thank you. Thank you, Tess.